Let's get to, while we were sweating at the end of this game as the Hornets made it a 2-point game, let's get to the arena, check in with our third member of the group here. That is Kyle Neubeck, checking in after all the post-game coverage. And Kyle, we saw it, podium game for Tobias Harris. It's like the playoffs, man, all up podium game for Tobias Harris in this win.
I don't know if I would say that's like the playoffs, but I'm going to suppress any negative commentary about Tobias after that game. That was a great bounce-back performance from him. And looking at the desk, I see those blue Rocky Mountains. I could use an ice-cold beer right about now. Then I'll have to wait till I get home. But, yeah, great Tobias game. We talked to him afterward, as you would imagine. And was nice to just see him in, I guess, good spirits after this tough stretch. Talked at length about his conversations with Joel Embiid, and I know I posted it on our shared Twitter together from the arena, but part of the message was just, you're not out there saving lives, man. It's just basketball. Like, go out there and have fun. But Tobias also mentioned, which was a big subject for us earlier in the week, that he tried to focus on a lot of stuff that he can control, not the stuff that is out of his grasp. So one of the big ones was rebounding. Double-digit rebounds tonight. I thought he set a good example for the whole team there. And when he does that, other guys tend to follow suit. It really is a simple game, man. When your leaders go out there and take charge and play the right way and do the things that they're supposed to do, generally you get the buy-in from the rest of the guys. So the shooting was great. That got him going early. And I think, honestly, the best part of that game for me was that there was not a whole lot of forcing the ball to Tobias. There wasn't a lot of throw it to him in the mid-post, and he just backs guys down for 8 to 10 seconds. Had a nice turnaround on a post-up late in the game that they needed badly. Had some other possessions there, but I would say generally speaking, it was catch-and-shoot looks. It's off-ball movement. Paul Reed hit him with a nice one off the ball and a cut on the baseline that I really liked. So to see him get the efficient 30 within the flow of the offense was a really nice end to the work week.
Yes, it was. So I guess did Nick talk at all about the starting lineup change, specifically with Mo in the starting lineup?
He did. So he framed it as about matchups and that Charlotte really only has one big that's available to play right now in Nick Richards, and they knew that they would be smaller coming off the bench. I do think there's probably a little bit to the idea of pushing back on Paul a bit and saying, your shot selection's gotten a little crazy, buddy, and let's reel it in. Now, Nick did not say that. I do think, to that point, though, that Paul Reed reeled it in tonight, and I thought this was one of his better games as a decision maker all season. Like, not only was he grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds, he passed up some shot opportunities to recycle the offense, get it to I would say a better decision maker than him, and a couple different times, including, I know, Devon, I'm sure you love this play, the one where he got the board, got it to Campaign gets it back to him for the alley-oop for the dunk in the fourth quarter. So I think the change certainly worked, or it would have worked even better if Mo Bamba was better. I said in the recap that the more I watch his team, and we know Paul Reed can play that 15 to 20 minute a game role, has done it behind Joel Embiid for quite a while now. I really think if they had gotten Andre Drummond, that trade could have been worth way more than Andre Drummond has any right to be worth at this point. Like, you could have gotten 3 or 4 wins out of just start Drummond, give Reed 20 minutes, and you get there with competent center play instead of whatever the hell they're getting from Les Bamba.
I joked before this game the Sixers need to sign his cousin Les Bamba. No, it's wild. Like, I think Andre Drummond is unplayable in the playoffs, but he might have been one of the top 5 most important trade deadline acquisitions. It's a really weird spot.
Yeah, for where they are right now. And we were even talking, Kyle, just kind of off topic a little bit, but with some of the things that have been happening with the two-way players being converted to these contracts and around the league, we've talked about Ricky Council and still having a spot. There's just not a lot of guys available in terms of big men, and we even spoke about Mike Muscala, and he goes to Oklahoma City. So that's just another name off the board. So that Andre Drummond piece would have been really helpful for this final stretch.
Yeah, and speaking of roster moves, I'm just going to give a little tease on the show. I can't say anything yet. I believe there is an impending move for the Sixers that's happening. I don't know if it's for sure tonight, but there's one coming this weekend.
Can we say it, Derek?
No, we cannot say it.
All right.
We cannot.
Also, if you would try to guess, I would guess you probably won't get it.
Yeah.
Well, we won't let you guess because we don't want to.
Well, I was going with the dunk. Yeah, that's all I was doing.
No.
But
listen, that Ricky dunk was on the side of the floor we sit on. Man, that was great to see in person. Just everything else went poorly for Ricky tonight, unfortunately. Yep. I did not think it was a good night for him. And, Nick gave him the minutes that come with a type of performance like that. But we will always have that dunk.
No question about it. What did you make of the other piece of the starting lineup with Kyle Lowry getting the start? Pretty good performance for a 37-year-old to give the double-double, hit some three-pointers, and just I thought even some of the smaller things, the extra passes, the kick-ahead passes to make sure the offense was still flowing. Yeah,
so it's so funny. We had a lot of side conversations about Lowry amongst the media in the locker room, so forth. Different people see different things in him, like what's valuable for him that he brings to the table, right? Like I think he had double-digit assists tonight by the end of the game. So
10.
The passing, obviously a big one. To me, one of the things I really love watching Lowry is the subtle relocation stuff, right? Like he's a valuable shooter, like a good catch and shoot guy, good pull-up shooter. But to me, like I just think he shows such a great understanding of how to be a valuable floor spacer. And sometimes it's just you move like 3 feet to the left, or you come around this guy and you're an outlet to somebody who's gotten doubled. And just it's not like Buddy Hield and JJ Redick where he's sprinting around the floor and hunting threes and doing things like that. It's just the little subtle movements around the floor to open up lanes, open up opportunities for guys. And so I appreciate that a great deal. And look, hit several threes tonight. That's a big lift for this group and takes a little bit of responsibility off of Maxi's plate, which that's a big one, right? Like you can use him as more of an off-ball catch and shoot type weapon. And I thought that was some of Tyrese's best stuff tonight, is not having to beat guys off the dribble and weaponize him in the corners, on the wings as a spot up guy. So from the sound of things, I don't know if they're a permanent lineup change is coming. Nothing is permanent with this group right now. But Nurse hinted at the idea that we could see more of Lowry in the starting lineup, and that one of the things coming into the game that they wanted to do was move Kelly to the bench to open up more opportunities for him as a attacker, creator, and so forth. So stay tuned on that one.
We especially like the wording, the mediumly, considering it.
That was I laughed about that quite a bit afterward, and laughed about it probably on the video that everybody saw as well. But the mediumly strongly was
yes, mediumly strongly considering it. That's it.
What did you attribute their defensive turnaround in the second half to?
Less Bamba.
More Reed.
I mean that's definitely part of it. They did struggle at times in the fourth quarter with Paul Reed out there, so it wasn't as though bringing Paul Reed in was just the cure-all. I do think Nick Batum deserves some credit. You come in, play small ball at the end, and you have a guy that's smart and stays connected and what have you. I think Lowry, didn't get to that part with him. There were some comical possessions tonight for him where he got matched up on Nick Richards at one point, and Nick Richards just did the put it in the basket, just held it there and put it. And I was cracking up when it happened. But for the most part, Lowry's intelligence and his positioning and his communication to guys. And when I say communication, I mean he's yelling his fucking head off at these guys, go there, and pointing all over the place. And it's hard as a guard to be the captain of a defense, right? That responsibility tends to fall on the center for various reasons. But Lowry is at least equipped to help there. And until they get Joel Embiid back as that final line of defense, the guy who's moving the pieces around, I think having someone like Lowry really helps.
We all silly like the mayor.